Hello, listeners, and welcome back to our nostalgic or problematic series. Although now it's just kind of become Danny and Katie's random thoughts
About Dawson's Creek.
where we are rewatching the Zennial classic Dawson's Creek, and we have made it to season 3. We are on episode 3, this episode of ours, and if you are watching on YouTube,
I would like to introduce you all to my business colleague, Danny. You may notice her here in her black blazer.
In the video, it looks like I'm wearing a black blazer or like a judge's robe.
And I'm in a t-shirt.
Guys,
I'm in a gray t-shirt.
It is like it's one of those like cozy like shawl things. It's very grandma, but it's like what I carry around because I'm usually cold. The only reason I have it on is because I realized after we recorded our last episode, my boobs look weird.
Or so she thinks.
No,
they don't actually look weird.
Because
listeners.
not in real life and not when I'm straight on, but I'm like crooked and I have on like this dress. And so it looks like this boob is like, not that there's anything wrong with that because most of us have one boob bigger than the other. That's like normal.
That is.
But it looks like I look all like cattywampus and it was bothering me. So we don't need to worry about what my boobs are doing. So I'm just covering them up.
So Danny means very serious business in this episode.
I look so serious.
No shenanigans, no horseplay.
Yes. And if you're wondering why where we've been with Dawson's.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's been a minute. Uh-huh. And by the time this comes out, it will be our only episode for the week.
Yeah, the day that it comes out, it will be that week's episode. Usually we have a regular episode and a Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is it for this week, guys, in case you're wondering. There is nothing else to come this week.
Not this week, but we did record something super fun for next week.
Yes. Summer is just weird. The beginning of summer for us has been very busy. We've had a lot of things happening in life. Travel, some expected, some unexpected. So we're trying to stay consistent with recording, which means even if we don't have everything we usually do, you're going to have something.
You're going to have something.
And we're trying to make sure we keep our promises to you that our book club picks and our movie rewatch picks come out on the days we told you months ago.
Yes,
for that we will stay
summer. With. That will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have also had some drama with watching frickin' Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that's made it a little harder too.
Which we talked about in the last time, but it like left Hulu. First of all, it was on Prime for free. Yes. Then it left. Right. Then it went to Hulu. Well, then it left Hulu. And apparently I got a text from our friend today saying it is now back on Hulu.
Yeah.
So what the hell?
But I don't care. I'm just going to keep watching it on Prime.
Well, I shall not because I already pay so much money for Hulu Live. So, and I got sick of dealing with commercials. So now I paid to not have the commercials.
On Hulu?
Yeah.
You are paying to not have the commercials.
Don't tell Troy. He's going to be pissed. He don't listen to this.
He doesn't.
He don't listen to the Dawsons.
To the Dawsons, no.
Yeah, he's going to be pissed when he finds it out. Because we're trying to cut back on all our apps and shit. Because it's so much.
It all adds up. And someone
really
pointed out to me recently, they were like, when streaming stuff first started, it was kind of like this great alternative to cable because cable has and is so expensive. But by the time you pay for all the little things, I think it's still less expensive than like cable at its height. No,
it's not. Not if you have all the things that you could have watched. Yeah.
And if you have like a premium to any of it, and then sometimes even then you like, for example, we have Amazon Prime, but then sometimes we want to rent or buy something that we still have to pay for, Right. So on top of it, you're paying extra fees. So
Did I tell you what we recently bought for our house?
What?
A DVD player.
Really?
Because we haven't had one in years. And yeah, the way this came about was this is typical Danny. I wanted to have a cast party to watch our recorded, ain't nobody going to be listening to that.
We're good.
Anyway, we had DVD copies of our recorded show. And I was like, oh, we should all watch together and we have a cast watch party. And then I quickly realized we don't have a DVD player because we'll bring in a PlayStation because we have a few of those.
We don't either.
And we'll hook that up and watch. Well, we couldn't get it to work the day of. I was like, Troy, you got to figure out, because I don't know how to do that shit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, can you get that going? He's like, it's not working. And he's like, you know what? I've been wanting to buy a DVD player anyway, because we still have tons of DVDs, especially like holiday ones.
Yeah.
And now everything you want to watch, like classics, you have to pay for.
Right. And if you literally already have it sitting on your shelf,
right. It's
you
just
don't want
so
to pay for
dumb.
it.
So he went and got one, which is wild because remember when they used to be so expensive?
Yeah.
You can get one pretty inexpensive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have a lot of our old DVDs out, and now he's started buying them. Like classic ones.
Yeah.
You know, like Halloween. Like
ones
he came
you
home
really plan to watch.
with
Yeah.
like Friday the 13th.
Oh, wow.
And he came home with like, because you can get them for like a couple bucks.
Mhm.
Because I have a feeling in the next few years, physical media is going to be back.
I agree.
Because you have to pay so much to watch all the things we want to watch. You have
Mhm.
to pay.
You do.
Or you can't even find it. Like Porky's, you can't even find it.
Mm-mm. That's okay. But that's a good example.
But anywho, so
Dawson has been hard to pin down.
yes, but he is back on Hulu right now.
Right now. So watch the whole
So-
season. Just binge. We know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to be doing that.
No,
But
I
you
have to
can.
do a little bit at a time. Otherwise, they all blur together, and then I talk about something from a different episode.
Same.
So.
Okay, so let's jump into it. We have
Okay.
2 episodes to talk about. Season 3, episode 3 is called None of the Above.
Ooh.
Dawson faces an ethical dilemma when Eve gives him an advance copy of an important college entrance exam. By the way, it's not an important college entrance exam. It's a practice test.
That was going to be one of my main comments about this episode. The
There-
PSAT.
The PSAT. Now, that is the test that gives you scholarships and stuff.
National Merit.
Correct, which is a big deal.
That
Troy's
is.
youngest sister got that.
Mhm.
One of Caden's best friends got like almost a perfect score on his
Wow.
on his PSAT, which is
Mhm.
insanity. I think he did get a perfect score
Wow.
on his ACT,
Oh, dang.
right?
Amelia qualified for the National Merit for a PSAT.
That's wild.
She didn't get a perfect, but she got a high enough score.
That's wild.
And I was like, what is that? What does that mean? Because like I didn't even remember, or I just probably never was even close to qualifying for it. So it can be a somewhat big deal.
Well, like Joey was stressed. and
I thought
Andy
it was
stressed.
weird that they were all so stressed about the PSAT.
I know. Like Andy and Joey, like I didn't even take the PSAT. By the way, I didn't even take the SAT because back in the day,
Mhm.
in the 90s, Southern colleges, most of them wanted you to take the ACT. The SAT was like a northern school thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or you could pick one, but most of them wanted you to take the ACT.
Okay.
Now it's not like that. But I never even took the SAT because guys, I hate taking tests. I hate it. I've always hated it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I told myself when I took that ACT, I said, if I get a score that's good enough to go to college, I'm done. I'm not taking it anymore. I did. I could have done way better, but I did not care.
Yeah. I think that is perfectly valid.
Did
Yeah,
not
I thought it was odd. And the way that like, yes, I mean, schools help you prep for it and it's like a whole thing. But like the way that just like the whole culture of the school was surrounding this test. And they kept, I don't know if you noticed, but they kept mentioning the College Board.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting because that is the administrator of the test. But I just thought it was odd.
I know.
I'm like, who do they know from College Board that like wanted this written in the show?
In the show.
It just was weird how they kept going, the College Board's PSAT. A member from the College Board is going to review it or whatever. Like, I was like, okay.
So you think there was like a big push at the time to take the PSAT? Probably money, capitalism. Guarantee.
Probably. I mean, as a grown person now, and I've read articles obviously surrounding this too, I have often wondered, like, why is there such a monopoly on what the College Board provides? Like, why? And you did mention the ACT, which is a different way of testing.
Yep.
Skills.
And now they have another test called.
I can't remember what it's called, but they do have another one. But it's such a small amount. It's sort of like we're putting all our eggs in one basket for this thing. And in that case, it is a really big deal because it's the only thing. And I've read articles about colleges that really don't even look at that anymore. They'd rather see a portfolio, which makes sense.
I mean, listen, I have an issue with testing because some people, me for the example, just do not test well. Now I managed to pull through, and I never had to have maybe should have had extra, but I mean, I've always done well. I mean, I graduated high school and college with honors, and whatever, but I still don't test well. Like, it's overwhelming. I have horrible, I took my online like personal training certification. It was like a proctored test where they watch you.
Oh God.
And like online,
Yeah.
and you have to show them your camera like around the room, and like you can't see them. You just hear their voice.
Oh, that's scary.
I hate it. And for 3 hours, I'm taking this test and I'm sweating. I was having an anxiety attack the entire time.
Dang.
I don't know how. I did really well on it. I don't know how, because I was like panicking. It was awful. Anyway, so that's what's happening with these kids. The beginning, though, did you get the jokes in the beginning where he's talking
with Felicity?
Yeah, so they're watching Felicity, which is a TV show.
Yeah.
And he's basically making fun of it for all the reasons that people make fun of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How she's too much of a romantic, and just the way that the storylines are. And
I think that's funny. They do those jokes a lot in the beginning. And then like him and Eve are like making out or whatever. And Dawson goes, "You know what I hate about television? They always cut out at the best part, and then the theme song starts." Yeah. I was like, genius.
It was well.
It was good. Well. That's a good joke, writers.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was really good.
Do you not have any notes?
No, because I was packing and cleaning the entire time I watched. Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about this before we turned the mics on earlier. I'm going on a trip.
Yes.
And it's fine. It's nothing super stressful about the trip or anything, but it's like suddenly like I'm like, oh my God, I have to do all these things. Like I have to clean out my game cupboard. And I did.
Yes.
I have to redo the bookshelf.
Yeah.
It's like I don't actually have to do any of those things to successly get out of town.
Yep. I do that too. I was saying that's an ADHD thing.
Yeah. And then there's like the normal cleaning stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like I gotta like get some stuff that is building up a little too much before. And we have someone staying at our house with our dog. So it's like, oh, like not a stranger, but like someone who's not on family is going to be in the house. So I'm trying to make it a little nicer. So because the book we read that we talked about on the last episode that will come out next week.
Yes.
Was an 11-hour audiobook. So as I was cleaning and stuff, so it's like by the time I finished all that, did regular work, and now I'm cleaning, I just watched and cleaned.
Well, good.
Cleaned out my pantry and my kitchen.
Oh, I hate doing that.
I know. It felt good.
I know. It feels good when it's done, but like it's just those little tasks. And like I really hate cleaning out the fridge, because then you have to like wipe all the shelves and stuff.
Haven't done it yet. That's a tomorrow, I think.
Anyway, okay. So, well, then we'll go by my notes, since you don't have any.
And I'll just tell you what I think.
I honestly didn't take too many notes, because I was watching, but I was like distracted. I was like doing multiple things at once. Mm-hmm. Like I was playing on my laptop while I was like paying bills and like, that kind of stuff. And also, I didn't think these episodes were very good.
I didn't think either one was very good.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. And I really disliked the scene. Okay. So Eve gives Dawson the answers to the PSAT.
Yes.
Like the key.
Now, how did she fucking get that?
How did she even get it? Why did she give it to Dawson?
And like, who goes on a secret mission to get the PSAT?
I know. And then Dawson brings it to his friends because it's an ethical dilemma. Like, if it's really an ethical dilemma, why are you even doing that? And then there's a whole scene where they're all like saying why someone might want it. And they're like, maybe because you're getting over heartbreak. And then Pacey's like, maybe because you're good at cheating. And then like, maybe because you've got to get out of this town.
I know.
And they're all like, it's like, it was too much.
It was too much.
Like, you doing well on the PSAT is somehow your key to like all of this. I suppose it's a step in the right direction, but I was just like, this is too much.
It was, I just was that whole.
And then there's a fire alarm and they come back.
Oh my gosh.
And the test is missing.
Yeah.
And so then that's a whole thing. And then I couldn't tell if Eve really knew who took it later. I guess it's later. When she's like, oh yeah, what if I told you who took it?
She don't know.
But then she's like, it's the first person you thought of.
She's
That's
just
the
an
person.
instigator.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a pot stirrer, and we don't really know why. And I honestly, even once she leaves, you still don't really get
You're
her.
like, why?
She's such a weird character this season.
She's weird.
She doesn't stay around the whole season, but enough to be annoying. Okay, so let's talk about like the whole football culture stuff.
Yes.
So something that's problematic that I remember happening in real life, where Jack's at football practice and he keeps getting his ass kicked, right? Not on purpose, but like he's trying to run through the line. Guys, I'm not a sports person, so Katie, fix me on whatever.
Oh, okay.
You probably know
we're in
me.
trouble. Yeah.
Anyway, he's like making his way through. Is he the quarterback?
Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he can't get through, right? And there's one part where he like flips over and falls right on his head, like on his neck. And they're like, Jack, come to. And he's like, oh, I think I'm going to throw up. So he probably had a concussion. And I can remember friends of mine who played football in high school in the South, guys. I can remember like them getting hurt really bad and they'd be sick on the sideline and the coach would put them right back in.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is very sad because so many people have permanent like brain damage from high school sports.
Right.
This is why neither one of our kids have ever played football. Also, we're small. So, can be a kicker. That's probably not it. But it makes me nervous because they do have a lot of guidelines now that they follow.
Yeah.
But it's still super rough.
So Ferris is a bigger guy, but he wanted to play. But by the time we finally got around to being like, okay, we'll put you in flag football or touch football, I want to say he was not 8 or 9, and it was tackle. And we were like, I'm sure it was just that specific league that we were looking into, but we were like, you're not playing tackle football at 9.
Yeah. My kids played flag football for a while.
Upset about it, but we were like, huh?
I know.
And then we did try to get him to play like as a freshman, just to like go out. And he felt like he was so far behind. He went to a couple practices that he was like, no, I'm not going to play, which is fine. I mean, in the end, he plays basketball and stuff, but like, same. We were sort of like, and like no shade to people whose kids play football.
No.
Like you said, there's a lot of like
there are a lot of guidelines now,
but I think it's always been a sport that's made us a little nervous. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But especially back then, yeah.
It
was like just tough it out,
right.
you know.
And I mean, this was in 99, right?
Yeah. And I think there's even been related to dementia and Alzheimer's, there have been studies of NFL players specifically. And like their number of times they were hit or documented concussions, which is probably not even all of them. And then like their risk factor for dementia or who it happened to and how young. And obviously we know dementia can happen from a lot of things.
For sure.
But when you look at that pattern, you're like, well, those people all have something in common.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, and you know what? My kids had concussions without football.
So there's that too.
Literally.
Life is scary enough.
Caden got attacked by a dog and it was really scary and bad. But he was okay. We were at the ER like all night when he was like 8 or 9. We come home. He's in the shower. He had like puncture wound in the back of his leg and his hand and stuff. So he's in the shower. It's like 11:30 at night. Okay. And we were trying not to get the back of his leg wet. Child locked his knees and passes out in the shower.
Oh.
Like passes out. I'd never seen someone pass out before.
Oh.
Hit his head like literally in the back of the shower and like was out. And I panicked.
And this is after the emergency.
Yes.
No.
Right? I'm screaming for Troy because if you've never seen anybody pass out, it's terrifying.
It's really scary.
Because they look dead.
They do.
Because his eyes were open and they're rolled back in his head and they don't say anything for a second. So I'm panicking and I'm like, Troy, where's my phone? And so anyway, Troy comes there. By the time he comes in, like Caden has come to and like he was confused as always happens. Anyway, so he had a concussion. He had more. Yes.
Oh, poor kid.
Cooper, let me tell you how Cooper got a concussion.
Okay.
He was like 4 or 5, probably 4. In our house in Virginia, these both happened in our house in Virginia. We had like high bar stool table, and they were eating lunch. And somebody called. It was like my sister called me or something. And I was like, just eat your lunch, right? Cooper put both of his arms into his t-shirt because he wanted to see how it would feel to eat his sandwich with no arms. I swear to God. So I literally turned my back for a few seconds. I walked into the other room and I hear this boom. Because, guys, if you're 4 years old or 5 years old and you're trying to eat lunch
with no arms,
that you've had arms up until that second, he went straight back on the tile. Like, oof. Just because he had nothing to catch himself.
Yeah.
Aww. And he was okay in the moment. And I was like, what the hell? And I said, Caden, what? And he was trying to see what it was like to eat without arms. I was like, oh my God. So he was okay. And the next day he went to like this little camp or something. And he came home. He's like, my tummy don't feel good. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I was like, oh no. So went to the ER anyway. Oh. So my kids had concussions from dumb things.
Right. So it still happens, but yeah.
So I don't want to put you in a situation
where the chances are even higher. Right. Real life.
For recreational reasons.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And y'all know how I got a concussion, right? Did I tell you about this?
I feel like maybe.
A couple years ago, right when we first moved here. This is so embarrassing. Guys, y'all know I'm a fitness professional, so please don't do this at home. I was working out and I was doing a new kind of workout move. I had a 20-pound weight and I was doing this multi-plane movement, and I was transferring the weight from one shoulder above my head while I was doing a lunge. Yeah, it sounds a lot of things. Just as complicated as it sounds. I was doing great, and then I went too fast and I hit myself in the head with a 20-pound weight.
Ouch.
I didn't black out or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that hurt. And then I was laughing because I was like, oh, what an idiot. Well, I had to drive Caden over to Orlando for something. And I was sitting there, I was talking to my sister on the phone. And I was like, God, I do not feel good. Like my head hurts. She was like, oh my God, Danny, you probably have a concussion. Sure enough.
Oh man.
Gave my ass a concussion. Myself.
Yourself. Well, I've been sitting here patiently.
Yay, you have a dumb story too?
It's pretty bad.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I have a few, like my kids, I don't think they had concussions. There's a few with the kids that are
dumb concussions.
The kid concussion stuff is not that exciting. So we'll just skip to mine.
All right, I'm ready.
So I wanted to use Nair in college.
Okay.
And I had roommates. But I wanted to try it down there.
Oh yeah. I love me some Nair for bikini lines.
And I hadn't done it ever before. So I was home by myself, which wouldn't matter because I'm in the shower.
It's already so good.
I mean, it doesn't matter that much because like I'm in the shower, but still part of the story is that I'm there by myself. So I'm showering, whatever. I try it and a little bit gets in. So I'm burning.
Oh,
burning.
Girl, how in the world?
So I'm trying to like wash it out and all the things. I jump out of the shower, run into my kitchen to get ice.
Ice?
Ice. Because it was burning, completely naked and wet. And the way that, spoiler alert, no one ends up walking in. But the way that our apartment worked, you open the door and there was the kitchen. But no one walked in on me.
Wait, I just, hold on. You got,
no,
depilatory.
Yes.
Up into an area you didn't want it.
And it
so
hurts.
Instead of rinsing it like we learned in science class.
I tried and it was still burning.
But what is ice going to do?
I don't know. Cool it off. I don't know. I was young and dumb.
That's
so
great.
I run into the kitchen. I'm getting ice. And I back up like where it was like cheap linoleum. And I fell backward and hit my head on the floor.
Oh my God.
So I'm like naked, burning, holding an ice cube tray. On the middle of the floor. And I passed out for a second. And when I like came to, I was like, oh my God, someone's going to walk in
and
right
be like,
now.
what the fuck are you doing?
So, and by then it really wasn't burning anymore. So it must have just like ran its course or the.
Did you pee?
Oh yeah. I went in the bathroom after that and peed. Not on the kitchen floor.
I meant like if you pee, that may have rinsed
Yeah.
it. Well, sometimes when you get a concussion, people pee.
Oh, no.
Like,
oh, I don't know. I don't think I did. I had to go wipe up the whole kitchen once I was like done with my shower and dressed because there's ice and water. And anyway, so that's how I got a concussion.
Oh my God. That's way better story.
Yeah.
No,
it,
that's terrible.
Hurt. Like,
oh yeah.
The back of my head hurt for like weeks, I promise.
Well, and like when you go to the doctor for a concussion, they don't do a CAT scan or anything like that unless they did for Cooper because he was so little.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to make sure there was like no whatever, but you can't see a concussion.
Right.
So they basically just
symptoms.
Hear your symptoms. But it sucks because like you have to have limited screen time.
Yeah.
Even reading was hard for me. And I remember it was the weekend of the Oscars. And I was so pissed because I'd have to watch it in segments.
Oh.
And I was like, and I would just go lay on my back porch and I couldn't teach or anything because hello.
Yeah, it's a head injury.
But oh my God, you and Nair on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, I've never used Nair again.
Oh, see, I use it all the time.
I probably, now that I'm older and wiser,
having a lot down there to get it accidentally up in there.
I guess so. I don't know.
Wow.
I just think I didn't know what I was doing. And I think I was probably rushing.
Not lotion.
I don't know why I was rushing because I was alone in the bathroom. But I think I was like, not embarrassed, but like, ooh, what am I doing? And I think I was rushing.
That's sad though, right?
Yeah.
Because...
And I think the whole reason I was even doing it in the first place because my roommates told me they did it.
I was like, you lived with females too, right? It's not like...
So it shouldn't be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well.
And here we are. Totally fine after our head injuries. I don't know.
Maybe that's what's wrong with us.
I don't know.
All right. Well, this turned into the concussion tell-all. Thank you for joining us on our TED Talk.
Yes.
How to protect yourself well.
Yeah.
Watch your cracks with Nair.
All the cracks with Nair.
Use a mirror when you're using dumbbells.
Yes. And especially if you're lifting them over your head.
Don't put your arms in your shirt when you're eating a sandwich.
Yeah. And Caden, I don't know. There's really no way to avoid his poor baby.
All right. Here is something that was in that episode that was so stupid. How come in TV shows when people hide under fucking tables,
no one can hear them
or see them?
I knew you were going to say that.
Literally, security guard walks in. You guys, it's like library tables. You can see underneath all of them from like a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking, not even whispering, talking.
Yeah.
And he walks right in front of the table. Come on.
And comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just talking like I'm talking to you right now.
What?
I know. I noticed that same thing. I was like,
annoying.
No way this security guard's not going to notice him. Now, nowadays, maybe if they had like headphones on or AirPods, they would have still seen.
No, they would have seen them. They're like these
they might not have heard them.
Adults under these tiny tables.
I know. That was really dumb.
It's like when toddlers hide.
Yeah.
Like, and they just cover their face.
Yeah. Like, you can't see me. Yeah.
Anyway, that was dumb. Also, I laughed when Joey was talking to Dawson about Eve, and she called her a bleach blonde hoe bag. I said, hoe bag was an insult. We need to bring it back.
It really
that was like
was
a burn.
That was a
So
bad
here
one.
is the question. What exactly is a hoe bag?
I was just thinking that. I was like, but what is a hoe? Okay. Hoe bag? Is it like
a bag of a multitude of hoes?
That's what I'm thinking. It's worse than one hoe.
Or is it a part of a hoe? Like you got Nair in your hoe bag.
I sure did. I don't know. I tend to think it's the first
Should we Urban
thing.
Dictionary it?
Yeah, we could. I don't have a phone in here.
I'm the one with all the weird stuff on my algorithm.
That's true. Ask Urban Dictionary what a hoe bag is.
All right, let's see.
Maybe the example it'll give is Joey saying that on Dawson's Creek.
I doubt it. What is a hoe bag?
What's it say?
It just says hoe bag is a slang, vulgar, and derogatory term used to refer to a woman considered to be promiscuous.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's not really a definition.
Yeah, I did. That's
all right, listeners, if you know, or if you like have a hypothesis.
But this one says, "What do you put in a hoe bag?" Is that a joke?
What does it say? Oh God,
You guys.
what do you put in a hoe bag?
It says how to pack your hoe bag. Oh, is that like a overnight bag maybe?
Oh, probably.
But this is what it tells you. Jeans, shorts, and a pair of casual slacks. What? Sneakers and Sperry's. What the hell? Guys, I don't know. Anyway,
because when I'm going out to be promiscuous, I'm making sure I'm bringing casual slacks.
I mean, oh, it does say another definition of hoe bag is also vulva or genitalia.
Oh, so you were right.
So you did get near in your hoe bag.
Gives new meaning to the word bleach.
Anyway, I just think we need to bring that word back.
I think we did just now.
We did. It's back.
We did it. Yeah, you used it in a sentence.
I actually saw like a reusable tote one time that said hoe bag, and it made me laugh so hard.
That's really funny.
I know.
That's really funny.
Can you imagine if we walked up in our kids' school?
Just like on our shoulder.
I'm already embarrassing enough with my stickers on my car and all that, so we won't add to that. Okay.
We won't add to it.
So, also, Pacey and Dawson are fighting again.
Like physically fighting.
Be punching again.
I know. And then Joey says, "Again, Dawson?" or something like that.
Preach, girl.
But she's right. But it took me a second. I was like, what does she mean? Oh, yeah.
Right?
They did punch each other before. And their faces looked messed up this time.
Now, do we think Dawson would be able to punch that hard?
No.
Nah.
I mean, maybe. He's getting stronger.
He is.
And older.
He lost some of that hair, so.
He did.
I mean, but also they were being mean to each other. Their words were cutting deep.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said something, I didn't write it down, but I was like totally with Pacey though most of the time. Shocker.
Yeah.
But he told Dawson he was being self-righteous, and I was like, he is.
No, he was right. Pacey was right.
He was 100% right.
How he's like, how are you accusing me? You're the one that had it in the first place.
Correct.
And there's just as much a chance of you stealing it as the rest of us. Dawson. Did you say anything about Pacey's shirt?
No. What was his shirt?
It was like, I don't know that it was ugly. It was interesting. So I thought you might have something to say about it.
I think I've given up on commenting.
It was like floral kind of, but then it had like geometric shapes on it.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was just really odd. It really stood out. I didn't dislike it. I just thought you might have a comment because you've been talking about his shirts
I know.
lately.
I think I've just given up now.
Okay, that's fair. You're like, they put Pacey in weird shirts.
Like,
that's
there's
it.
his big pants
Period.
again.
Yeah,
that's fine.
True. Also,
the last thing I had for this episode before the next one is Jack's mantra word that he comes up with.
Oh yeah,
fug. All I could think of was the word fugly. Also a word we need to bring back. Did you never say this?
I said it, but why do you want to bring back fugly?
Because it's funny.
Okay. I know.
I mean, you were okay with hoe bag.
That's true.
Maybe it's funny.
Maybe it's because I feel like I'm fugly.
And I
take offense.
No.
But I don't think I'm a hoe bag. But apparently I have one. So there's a difference. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But don't you think fug sounds like the gay slur? I thought that was
I didn't even think of that.
I thought it was a weird word to pick for his mantra.
Well, I thought it was weird anyway.
I mean, it's weird. It's not a word.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. It's strange. But then it kind of sounds like F-U-C-K also.
I know.
I don't know. I don't get it.
It was weird as a weird word.
And then how Dawson and Pacey, it's like this whole big thing that they walk away and don't do the PSAT.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, literally, of all the hills to die on, this is the one.
And the principal was like, all right.
The principal was like, bye guys.
Bye.
Huh? Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, but then we find out who stole the test.
Oh, yeah. It was Andy.
Yeah, it was Andy. I wondered because I forgot. I couldn't figure out who it was.
I remembered.
I figured it was her or that the principal had found it and was like holding on to it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It was her.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, Andy. Bless you.
I know. Okay. So moving on to episode 4. This one's called Home Movies. The summary was basically this. Is it Dawson's documentary about Jack, Capeside's gay football star.
That's not even a sentence.
I know. That's all it said.
Okay.
I was like, did we forget something?
Okay.
Okay. Hilarious. They brought in the Betamax machine.
That was fun.
Now, my stepdad probably still has his, unless Hurricane Katrina took it away, which it may have. But he had that thing forever. He would not get rid of it. And did you ever have one of these?
Oh, yeah, we had Betamax.
Okay. So you remember that the tapes were like this. They were
like different size. Yeah.
And he had this like 2 special cabinets that were specifically for Betamax tapes. And he would not get rid of it. None of our TVs worked because it was a weird hookup.
Yeah.
Remember how back in the day with VCRs and stuff, you had to have specific kind of hookups, remember, on TVs? Today, everything is pretty much a USB cable.
Yeah. Or you can get an adapter.
Or an adapter. But it was like, anyway, he would not get rid of those. And that's the first
The Betamax was funny.
Oh my God. Hilarious. I forgot about it until I saw it.
And like, when did those stop being used? Or stop being made?
Whenever VCRs came out.
Okay, so they weren't at the same time.
Well, I think they did coexist
a little bit.
It's like Atari and Nintendo, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then
I remember having both.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was around the same time.
I think they overlapped, kind of like VCRs and DVD players.
That's true.
Well, and remember, laser discs came before the DVD.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So it's probably the same thing.
Yeah. It's
same
just
thing.
Evolution
of it. Yeah. Changing technology.
But that was laughed.
That was funny.
Can we talk about this? I do not get why Jen stayed on the cheerleading team for so long.
I know.
It makes no sense. Like, she hates it so much and is so rude about it. And she's just like, but I just blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
it's so not her character.
It's weird.
It's like, again, of all the hills to die on, why is it like, I said I'd be head cheerleader, so now I have to forever and ever?
And I know, like, later in the episode, she's like, I started as a joke, because then she does quit finally in this episode. She does,
yeah.
But that took long enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, it'd be a joke if you, like, did your tryout and then they offered you head cheerleader and you're like, no. That's the joke.
That's the joke, yeah.
I don't know.
And they call her Jenny, which I just thought was so funny. I mean, it's like basically the same name. Of course, the Jens out there are yelling at me right now. But it did feel like such a different name. I'm like, why are they calling her that?
I know.
And then I was like, oh, Jenny, okay. And her name, and her grandma calls her Jennifer. So I guess, but for some reason it like made me giggle when they called her that.
Well, you know, there are people who like whose names are something and they don't want to be called whatever version of something.
Did I tell you about, there was a man I work with and he worked in the UK and his name was Matthew. And so I had heard a few people just kind of say, oh yeah, Matt gave me this, Matt gave me that, whatever. So not even spoken, but on Slack, I said something. He asked me a question and I said, oh, thanks, Matt, blah, 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 blah. He wrote me back on Slack and was like, that sounds great. Please don't call me Matt. My name is Matthew.
Yeah.
And I was like, fair.
Well,
you know,
Victoria is like that. She doesn't want to be called Vicky or Tori.
Yeah,
she wants to be
I get
called
it.
Victoria.
I get it.
That is my name.
But I was just like, oh.
So I can get why that's annoying.
I said absolutely, like, and so I made sure
you're like,
called him that again.
Might be Mr. Matthew.
Might be, yeah, might be.
Okay, while we're talking about Jen, her little tangent she went on before she quit the cheerleading team.
Oh yeah.
She was really pissed about that. First of all, yes, valid to be pissed that they put you in an auction contest
and you have to kiss someone. Yeah.
Ugh. No. But she said, one of the things she said in her little tangent was about her polyester molest me skirt.
I
was like, damn.
And how funny that she wore fishnets.
I know.
With that uniform.
I know.
That was really funny. I didn't quite blame Grams when she was... It's kind of what you were saying. Grams is like, why are you kind of making fun of and not taking seriously?
Well, you're kind of being an asshole.
This role.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, cause cheerleading's stupid and all we do is it and the whole structure of it, blah, blah. But I'm like, yes, so Grams is saying, like, then don't be a cheerleader.
Right.
Like,
right.
She's basically telling you why she's genuinely asking, why are you doing this? You know, I thought that was an interesting scene.
I know.
And then she goes, oh, Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer. You have to do it like that.
Oh, Jennifer.
That's it.
There it is.
There it is. I'm better at being an old lady.
You are. I mean, you are also a professional actor.
I got my sweater on.
In your blazer.
So are you, though?
I'm just in a t-shirt.
No, being a professional actor.
I mean, not right now. I'm not.
You're fine. Oh, who knows? Dear. Okay. So, what were your thoughts in the football game when they put the makeup on the boys to distract the other team?
I mean, on one hand, who cares if you put makeup on boys? But their reasoning was kind of to make them, I don't know.
I know. I felt weird about it.
It makes me feel weird. Yeah. Anytime you're using a gender stereotype in general, both ways. It's not just putting the makeup on them. It's assuming then that's somehow going to mess up the other players.
Right. And they were targeting Jack on purpose because they knew he's gay, which sucks. But also real life happens.
Sure.
And then Henry said, like, when they came out and the other team's looking at them and Henry's like, who's the homo now? And I was like, oh.
Yeah. That like, didn't land right.
You're saying that to defend him, but
you're saying it in a derogatory way.
Yeah. I just didn't like that whole bit.
Well, and I didn't love Dawson's tokenization of Jack for the news story.
Right.
And
which is what his dad was trying to say.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And Mitch is sort of made out in that scene to be like
not
the bad guy.
Dream. Yeah.
Because he wants the team to win. But I'm like, but he's right. It is distracting. It also puts a big old target on Jack.
Yes.
Who is a child out here playing what could be a dangerous and violent sport. And he's part of a team.
Right.
So, like, singling him out is not probably, but Mitch wasn't really saying that, but I understood what he meant by, like, we have a game to worry about as a team.
Right.
We don't need the day before this news story on, like, this big news station about the gay football player.
Right.
Before the game happens.
Right.
So I kind of agreed with that.
Well, of course I'm on Mitch's side.
But... And then Henry's crush on Jen.
It's the cutest.
I can't.
You see why I had a crush on him back in the day.
I was thinking that when I was watching it. I was like, oh, he's adorable. And just how he can't talk. And then she's like, I know. You got issues or whatever to him when he couldn't talk.
And he's around for a while. So
I love him.
He doesn't disappear for a while, and he stays adorable.
Good. That makes me happy.
Time
because I would be feel very betrayed if he didn't.
He is one of my favorites, and I forgot about it. But also, the school is just okay with like this whole kiss auction.
Yeah, it's weird.
Also a problem.
Yeah,
like the principal's like, pucker up. I mean, don't say that, but pretty much.
Yeah.
He's like, and now the kiss you've all been waiting for. Hello?
Yeah. Like, first of all, I feel like when I was in high school, there were strong rules against PDA.
Right.
Oh, I can't. But I also remember being in college and my sorority did a date auction.
Oh, yeah. We had like auction, but like not.
But you're adults and I don't know. It was a little weird. Yeah, it's a little weird.
We had, I think. The most problematic thing I can remember when I was in high school, so I think I talked about this before, I was in a service organization called Kiwanettes, which is a female version of the Kiwanis Club, okay? The boys had one called Key Club. The girls were Kiwanettes. Whatever. I think they eventually joined. But since it was all girls and they were all boys, we basically treated it like they were fraternity and sorority.
Sure.
Okay? But one of the biggest money makers we had that we raised money for a local charity every year, we had something called a hunk contest. And it was like a male beauty pageant. But basically, we just objectified these boys who entered. They wanted to enter. But I mean, like,
yeah.
Hello?
I know.
And the school loved it. they were like, we did it in the cafeteria. Like,
yeah. I mean, to your point, it's objectification either way.
correct.
Even if you like it, like
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, and that was in the late 90s, mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
So it's around this time. So I'm assuming, I guess, whatever. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's problematic from the time. So
it is.
I also said Henry's just too precious. And then, even though he paid $500, sold his precious little mouthpiece,
Doug Flutie's mouthpiece.
but she was like, all right, whatever. And he goes, well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, that was sweet.
See, we love him.
We do love Henry. We do love him. Yeah. I just thought of this when you were talking about like the kissing and the pucker up. Like, I don't even let any children, and that means 18 or 17 and under, in any of my shows kiss, even on the cheek. Like, even if they were like okay with it, it's just a no. We're not going to do that part of the stage direction, because like they're children.
I get it.
Even grown, whatever, they can do what they want outside of here. But as an adult, I am not going to say you must have this physical moment.
I appreciate that.
And even adults.
Yeah.
And I will say, we will not do anything that someone is uncomfortable with. I don't care what the script says, and really trying to find that line, because we're community theater, so we don't have an intimacy coach or whatever.
Well, and everybody's comfort level is way different. And when you're a kid, sometimes you're not confident enough to say, I'm not comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
Especially to an adult.
Right.
So I have no problem if somebody told me, I need you to be nude. I'd be like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Right. Well, and like my thing is like, I just take the decision away completely.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's no pressure. Like, yeah, because you don't have to.
Then you don't have. Then they don't have to be put in that circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, even scenes, even with adults, if there's anything that requires someone to even touch a shoulder or something, I'm like, talk to your scene partner. Y'all decide what you want to do, because I'm not going to be the one to. And again, it's community theater, so we can do that. Like, we knew what we want, But like, I just am so cognizant of that. And me personally, I don't mind that much. Like, I don't care if someone touches me or kisses me on stage or whatever. It's not even like a personal thing. It's like a understanding that sometimes people don't speak up about that stuff,
and some people are uncomfortable,
and they are.
And that is okay.
It is.
Like, I mean, the last show I was in, I had to kiss all over somebody much older than me.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me. Like, somebody had to pick me up in the air. But our director was like, are you okay with this? Yeah, I'm fine. But we had another person who had to take their clothes off and did under a sheet. I probably wouldn't have been okay with that.
Yeah. That made me nervous.
I would be nervous.
Yeah. Which was part of the allure of the show.
If I looked like her, then I'd been like, yes. And granted, nothing ever happened. She was really good at it. Like, she got the stuff off, and she wasn't all the way naked, but pretty close.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. Thank God I didn't even have to be.
That wasn't even a decision you had to make.
But anyway, so that was it for those episodes. That's all I had written down.
Yeah. I'm hoping the next two are better.
It's Eve. It's her. She throws off the balance.
And I feel like nothing she does makes sense.
Right.
Literally nothing.
It doesn't.
The chasing of Dawson, the stealing of the PSAT. Now she's suddenly at their high school. I don't. What? Like, who are you?
I don't get it.
Why are you here? And also, and then Dawson kind of like says to her, like, well, we were supposed to be getting to know each other, but now I've decided I don't want to know you or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, it took all this for you to get to this point.
All this.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like her. I mean, as an actress, wonderful person.
Right. It's
adorable. Her clothes are great. I loved that red dress she was in with like the piping. Yeah, that was really cute. But yeah, just the writing around her just didn't quite hit what it was supposed to. And I think she's working with the material she was given to the best of her ability.
I know. And you do
I think like you said, she was just supposed to be this hot blonde that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Period.
And even once before she leaves, you find out more about her, but it still is like,
still not quite. Yeah. Well,
like,
we'll
what?
get to that.
Huh.
Awesome. Well, tell us what you think, guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed this. Well, depends when you listen to it, but Dawson's Only week.
Yeah, Dawson's Only week.
Dawson's Only.
Where Danny goes to business school.
That's the best. Katie uses an air
in her hoe bag.
In my hoe bag. And does not want to bring back the word fugly. Don't do it. Don't say it around me.
Why?
I'm
not
it.
calling you fugly.
Yes, you are. I can tell. You looked right at me and you go, no one says fugly anymore.
Oh my God, that is reading into something.
Just kidding. You didn't do that.
You know what?
I just wanted to see what you said.
It feels very Mean Girls. Don't they say fugly in Mean Girls?
Yeah, Regina is a fugly cow.
Oh, there we go. Biatch, right?
Regina is a fugly cow.
No, I mean in the movie, not the musical.
Oh, a fugly biatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great insult.
Do they say hoe bag in Mean Girls?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Fugly biatch.
Fugly biatch.
All right.
Anyway. All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks again, guys. Listen to all our episodes. Definitely Dawson's Creek. Danny is very tired from her long day in the office being a business lady. And
it's not a blazer, guys. I'm not wearing a blazer.
She needs to get home to pet her cats and take care of her 2.5 children, return some important emails while drinking a glass of wine before bed. We'll see you next time on Generation in Between. Bye, guys.
Bye.